We have price coming to a previous level of structure. I think we can all agree, right? Right in this area. We have a very high momentum move, right? Plural, right? We have what? One green and then two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bullish candles in a row. If we look at my RSI, we can see that our RSI has gone massively overbought, right? Overbought on your traditional indicator is going to be 70. Overbought on my settings is going to be 80. We've come to about 84, so massively overbought. And we have signs of loss of momentum, meaning that you can see that these are going to be considered 3 strong bullish candles. The ranges are wide, meaning they're long candlesticks, and the closes are at the very highs, meaning that the bears or the sellers weren't able to push them off the highs that much. And then we have smaller range candles. We have this skinny little fella right here that's called a doji. That's a sign of indecision. We have a less skinnier fella. This one ate a little bit more, has a slightly bigger body, but still stick figure arms and legs to the top and the bottom, which is another doji of indecision. And then we ended the week with the skinniest of the skinniest candles, another doji. So we've got 3 candles in a row showing us indecision. The slope has gotten less steep. It has decreased. These are all signs of loss of momentum as we're coming up into our level of structure. So something that you would want to look for here, again, is a sign of reversal, and probably the easiest sign you can look for is a lower low, lower close candle. And if we do get that, the place that I would expect us to go down to is to retest this midpoint right here. A little bit higher than that, that's 197.96. Let's go to this even handle 198 flat. Pretty decent level. Looks like a 50% retracement as well. I was close on the last prediction. You gotta give me one, Yeah, that's close enough. Right? Yeah, that counts. Now also flipping to the hourly, if you want more clues, right? We talked about this loss of momentum, right? We can see price action literally exploding like a rocket. Boom, 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 straight up, and then kind of like veering off. This is probably the perfect example I can give you. Whenever I talk about loss of momentum, I use the analogy of like throwing a baseball in the air, and then when it leaves your hand, like it goes up with a lot of force in a very steep angle, and then eventually it gets to the top, its apex, and it starts to curve back down. This is exactly this. If this were a rocket ship, I thought I had a rocket ship on display here. Come on, baby. There we go. If this were a rocket ship and it was booming, 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 booming out of space, this would be the point where it ran out of fuel and it just started to kind of drift and slow down. So we have this less steep upward movement. If we look at our RSI once again, right, another way to use it other than just the massive overboughtness that we've had up at 94 here in the hourly, we can start to see that as prices continue